Hey everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Yarn Purpose. Today, let's talk about the faux crochet bind off. Hey everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Yarn Purpose. Today I'm back with another tutorial. I wanted to show you how to do what I call the faux crochet bind off. I like to put this at the bottom of some of my top-down shawls, and so I thought it would be a great quick tutorial for you today. So in some shawl patterns you will see a crochet bind off used at the end in order to make these nice loops along the bottom. But not everybody is comfortable with a crochet hook, or maybe you're like me and you're lazy and you just don't want to get your crochet hook. So I thought I would show you how to do this one. As you can see, it does look a little bit different. The crochet one's definitely, I call it like a little more delicate than maybe this faux crochet bind off, but they both give you the same effect in that you get these nice big loops. So we're going to go ahead and focus on how to do this faux crochet bind off, which all you need is just whatever shawl you're working on and the needles that you have the shawl on. So let's go ahead and get started. So to start, we have to do sort of a setup row to get everything going here. So we're going to start by knitting 2, and these would be sort of like your edge stitches of your shawl. We're going to yarn over twice, and then we're going to do an SK2P, which is slip 1, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over, and then we're just going to keep repeating that. Yarn over twice, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over. So if you were working this on the end of your shawl, you would just keep doing that. 2 yarn overs, SK2P, 2 yarn overs, SK2P. So I'm just going to keep working down my little swatch here. Come to the end and we have 2 stitches left. So I'm going to end with a double yarn over twice, and then just knit 2. So you are changing the stitch count a little bit, but because this is the bind off, it doesn't really matter because you're going to want to have these big holes to pull out and block. So I like to end with the double yarn over and the knit 2, just so that I have sort of that matching big hole on either side, if that makes sense. So then coming to the wrong side, we're going to just knit those 2 stitches, and then we come to our double yarn over. So actually here now we're going to create extra stitches. So normally in a double yarn over, you would knit into the first stitch and purl into the second stitch, for example, to create that big hole. But we're actually going to take these 2 yarn overs and turn it into 4 stitches. So what I do is knit 1, bring the yarn forward, and purl 1 into the first yarn over. And then in the second yarn over, I'm going to knit 1 and then purl 1 again. So where you have the 2 yarn overs, you're going to knit 1, purl 1 twice. So you're taking those 2 yarn overs and turning them into 4 stitches. I then just knit that SK2P from the previous row. Then we come to another double yarn over. We're going to knit 1, purl 1 into the first yarn over, take it off, and then knit 1, purl 1 into the second yarn over. Again, you can see here we've created 4 stitches into that where that double yarn over was. So again, just keep repeating that process. Just knit that SK2P stitch from the previous row, and then knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 into the double yarn over. And then when you've come to the end, you're just going to go ahead and knit those last 2 stitches. So now we've set up for a little decorative bind off here. So then coming to this side, all we have to do is just bind off. I've talked in a previous video about my favorite bind off for shawls, but for this particular decorative edging here, I just find a regular bind off is fine. Because you created extra stitches in that double yarn over, you had the 2 yarn overs and created 4 stitches. I find that this is already pretty stretchy as far as the edge of your shawl goes, so I find you don't need to do any sort of special bind off when you're binding off these last stitches. So I just use the traditional bind off of knit a stitch, knit the second stitch, pass the first stitch over the second. So it's just a traditional bind off here. I find for me that works great. If you find that it is still a little bit tight, you can check out my video on the knit 2 together through the back loop bind off. That would definitely work here as well if you find that your edge is still a little bit tight. I'm going to go ahead and just finish binding off the rest of these stitches. Now that we've finished binding off, we're just going to snip the yarn and just pull it through like we normally would, and then go ahead and weave in this end. And there you go. And then when you go to block it, you can take your pins that you have for blocking and pull out each individual loop, or the easiest way is if you have blocking wires, you can just run the wire in and out of the loops and then block it that way. So it's a very nice edging to put on the bottom of a top-down shawl. You could use it in other applications too. I think it could look nice as an edging on a baby blanket or something like that, but that's it, the faux crochet bind off. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I love using this one. If you like this video, go ahead and give it that thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more tutorials from me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you like, you can turn on the notifications to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I hope that everybody has a great week, and I'll see you back here next week with another video. Bye!